Do you have to do crafting if you're going to play Dune Awakening? Yes and no. That's a fun one to answer. So, at the core of Dune Awakening, it is a crafting survival game. You are going to have to craft certain elements to stay alive. It is a survival game. So, behind me, you can see we're working with, and this is from the beta weekend that we just did. We're using the fabricator here, which is essentially a 3D printer, which is really cool because you can see the items being created as you use the machine. Um, so when you first start off the game, you're going to be taught from the very, very, very first steps in the game world that you're using plants to create bandages, you're using scavenged metal to create weapons, you're using scavenged stones to create um, walls and foundations and rooftops so that you can have a structure to keep yourself safe from the sun. And then after that, you need fuel cells to put into your shield generator, which also is the power source that runs the fabricator, and this is your ore refiner. So the crafting gameplay loop is a central part of this game. So you kind of do need to at least have an appreciation for the crafting of your gear and objects that are going to allow you to survive. Now, once you get pretty deep into the game, you will start to find NPC vendors. You'll also be going to shipwrecks and Imperial testing stations where you will be able to find gear that drops off of NPCs like bandits. You will also find chests of loot where you will loot objects. There will be armor, there will be weapons, there will be battery packs, suspensor belts, all the different types of ammo and things that you need to run these devices. They will be damaged, though, if you are getting them from the dungeons, which means you have to then take them back to your home base and you have a repair machine in your home base where you can then repair those objects up to a certain point because you're never allowed to repair it up to 100%. You're always going to lose a little bit of durability as you go through the process. So I would say that while you can, in some cases, reduce the amount of crafting you have to do, crafting is an essential part of the Dune Awakening gameplay loop and the experience. I mean, the research tab in and of itself is full of things that you have to research. And if you look here, going through all the tiers, you've got salvage products, copper products, iron products, steel products, and it goes down through the various tiers. And then up here at the top, you've got all the different types of things. And then there's the journey tab that you'll notice up at the top as well, which is where you'll find these quest lines that are related to, okay, you're in this new area, you now need these items to create these things which help you survive. So when you first start off in Haga Basin South, which is the starter zone that everyone starts off in, um, you will use tier 1 materials to create your base and your armor. However, when you get to tier 2, it's a harsher zone. The sun is hotter. The desert is hotter. You'll drain water faster. You'll need a better base. You'll need better gear. And the enemies are more challenging, so you'll need better weapons to overcome those challenges. And generally speaking, the most effective way to get those items is going to be to craft them. And when it comes to structures like what we're building right here, you have no choice but to create these because it's probably going to be, I would argue, next to impossible to find an abandoned base by another player that you could just take over. You might find those, but in most cases, you're going to need to be building structures to survive. That is, again, part of the gameplay loop. But I know it has, this is a question that's cropped up more than once on YouTube videos and in the streams like, well, I'm not traditionally someone who likes crafting. I don't know that I want to craft. Do I have to craft to play this game? The short answer is that yes, you are going to have to craft to play this game. How deep you get into the crafting game, that just depends. Like, some people aren't going to care about building really ornate structures, and there is an entire base building gameplay loop in this game that is above and beyond the crafting of gear and just your basic structures. Like this building right here that we're showing in this video is just it was literally, it started off as 4 foundation blocks, 4 walls, 4 foundation ceiling, and then I stuffed everything in here and I just expanded it right now as you saw in the video because I had to build out. I had to get a new crafting station. We're trying to put this new crafting station in here. And so I got to make room for it. So I had to expand my house a little bit. And why do we need this particular crafting station? Because this allows me, matter of fact, which one are we placing right now? I don't even have I can't see that video in front of me. Oh, and this is the interesting thing. Everything just powered down because I built more things than my single power generator could run. So I now have to go build another power generation. I remember this. This is really cool. So everything just powers down, and I had to build a new power generator to get everything running again. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. So this is just a very basic structure, but then we went and built like an actual elaborate structure as part of the base building stuff that we did in the beta weekend. And that's the thing, it's like you'll need to craft your basic armor and your basic weapons and your sand bike and things just to survive. But then beyond that, you kind of don't have to if you don't want to, because again, you'll be able to find things, you'll be able to buy things, you'll be able to get by without necessarily spending a ton of time crafting. But I would argue that the best gear is going to be made through crafting because there's some really good like imperial blueprints that you get that lead to these really nice weapons, like the knife that you can get early on in the game, which has like a blood drinking feature on it, so that when you stab an enemy, it drains the blood from them. So rather than having to manually use your I forget the name of the device that pulls the blood out of the um, mobs when they're dead so that you can then refine that into water. The blade actually does it for you so that you can actually get 2 times as much blood out of the enemies to refine into water. So those are the types of things that you can make through the crafting um, side of the game. So, I mean, yes, you have to craft if you're going to play Dune Awakening. Do you have to become a crafting fanatic? No. You can just do the very basic bare necessities to keep yourself alive and then get everything else from the vendors and drops from dungeons and things of that nature. But I would argue that you're also going to miss out on I would say a good half, if not more, of the fun of this game is spent building all of this cool stuff and going back and like using here and like repairing your gear and so on and so forth. And then also because there are skill trees associated with being able to um, repair items better so that you don't lose as much durability. Like there's a whole strategic side of that if you're going to be repairing all your own gear and getting the most out of it. If you're going to be like looting objects and taking them back to repair them, like there are skill trees that allow you to do that and be better at that. So again, it just depends on how deep into the crafting side of the game do you want to go. Beyond just the survival component of the game, because it is a survival game at its core. As for me, I'm a fanatic for crafting. I've loved crafting ever since the original EverQuest one. I remember doing the ring and shawl quests in Velius way back in the day when I was a wee lad of like 20, 21 years old, and spending months. There was a black like leather set that you could get from like these panthers. I remember I don't it's been a long time. Ever since then I've loved crafting, and all throughout the years, every game I've played, whether it's EverQuest 2, World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars: The Republic, getting into modern survival games like V Rising, Once Human, Minecraft, Enshrouded, etc. By the way, I loved the gear sets in Enshrouded, and last time I played was like 2 years ago, and they've gotten even more elaborate since then. So lights are flickering, It's like 42 degrees Celsius here, guys, so the power is a little iffy right now. So I better wrap this up and head on out before the power goes out from everybody sucking down air conditioning. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams at 5 a.m. Central. We're playing a lot of Dune Awakening, and there's a ton of guys in the playlist down below, so check them out, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe and happy gaming.